Good morning. Today, January 15, 2023. It's so fast after 2022. So, hope this 2023 will be good. But surprisingly, it get worse and worse somehow. So, get ready for the impact. Just like the saga of classified document that was misplaced, leaked, or stolen by government official in the USA. So we will discuss why are we loving this document so much. Seems like something is revealing. Seems like something great come out of it. Like there's some information. Like we gonna get a daily life result, but you're gonna be disappointed because this is just about how the FBI, CIA, and all the government security people classify this document to be top secret, um, and then very sensitive, classified, and stuff like that. So the classification is gradual from the light until the top full secrecy. So we have been learning about this leak, misplaced, and stolen classified material since long time ago. I think since 1900 when they start having this classified material stuffs in the government. So all the players are usually since 1900 or old people then, or very old people. The audience are about the same, old or the generation that wanna be really old. So the whole country is in romance in the paper trails everywhere and every turn, because as soon as they invented the FBI, CIA, and then everything is classified, everything is secret. They even call it the Secret Service. So they got so many secret because why they're not becoming open bureaucrat? Why we're not an open society? It's a good question. It's a very legitimate question. How could we deny digitalization era or cloud era if we keep all the paper trails from the White House to the Mar-a-Lago, all the way to Pennsylvania, the University of Pennsylvania. And the actors are a bunch of very old presidents and officials, or even the AG Merrick Garland, the FBI, and the old National Archive. So this is very old playbook that drags everybody down to the old way back then or antique era. I know there is a comedic to it when the moderate, because they moderator and they try to be moderate in their view on this bunch of TV anchors are questioning why is it matter when you investigate Biden lawyers who keep surrendering those classified documents versus Trump that keep insisting and fighting for these government classified documents are his to keep for the ownership and simply refuse to give them up. Just like the moderate, moderator or anchorman that thinking as moderate or thought wanna be a moderate keep asking. So moderate, like I have to keep telling you that moderate mean they're not biased. They simply want to be in the middle, and they always say it just or not tipping on one side. So they want to be a moderate, stay in the middle, non-biased. So they also asking why Biden's son, who never hold government office, is more corrupt than Jared Kushner, who officially worked for us, for all of us in Washington. So this is very comedic. Like these are the reason why these cases are keep flying on the air and becoming viral. It's because it's all ridiculous. It's comedic. So ridiculousness is comedic. While it is all simply, so the whole silver lining here is a simply non-digital reckless documentation and seems like to be out of control. So imagine if everything in digital, in data, that no one can touch the paper and only with certain password or fingerprints or biometric or eyelid, cornea scanning that can open the document. It will be much more severe and nobody will question it. But since this is a clumsy way managing classified materials by spreading paper trails, yeah, of course, whose fault is this? It's comedic, like I said. So no doubt the US needs to move into the digital and cloud mode immediately and stop the old people romance to paper trail document. So no more romance with the paper document. That's what that's what logically should be. But will we get there? That's an obvious question that we could never answer, I guess. We can be very sure these documents were typed and saved in digital. So to produce or generate the document, they have to type it in a digital and then they print it out on a piece of paper. But somehow, old timer, somehow the old timers always like to touch the paper. It feels good when they touch the paper. When they see the white paper, they feels good. And the old days that when we have a paper cut. So otherwise, if we have a digital, there's not gonna be any paper cut. Paper cut is when the paper slices the skin and you bleed out. That's called paper cut. So these old people or old timer, from their behavior or their romance with the paper, are cutting down the forest very rapidly, or they create deforestation because they want to hold the paper and leave those paper trails everywhere. Otherwise, if there's no cutting tree, there's no digital, and they couldn't leave the paper trails everywhere. It sounds so cumbersome by stamping or marking classified and require many position or custodian ranking to secure the paper. You have seen a document print that will disappear without a trace in a minute or three after opening using a special ink printer, like the old movie Charlie Angels, or when we open a document, in about 5 minutes the document will caught on fire and the document will self destruct. So what happened to that picture that we seen in the movie, like in the Charlie Angels and all those spy movie that we watched in the 1970s? So 1970s they already invented this. This paper documentation needs some trees in the forest, logging workers. It needs somebody to cultivate it, and need some seed and stuff like that, and then need milling, pulping, chlorinate the paper. So they use chemical chlorine to make the paper white as snow. And then sheet making, cutting paper, sheet cutting, and then they need storage, shipping and receiving, and then after purchase, selling, credit payment, discount and tax, not to mention admin and other workers, managers, union, CEO, other people also involved like public accountant, union, labor department, corporate lawyers, and political lobbyists, and advertisement. Imagine how inefficient these old people in wasting so much resources just for love of the or romance with the white paper document that at some point it still has to be digitized and shredded anyway. So it's so ridiculous. Mm. We have been misled by our big government agent in abusing the forest or environment from the office of the President, FBI, National Archive, and the Justice Department, and etc. They are extensively campaigning on the widely use of document and paper trails, and paper abuse are rampant. How many months is this campaign or glorifying forest abuse since years and will last? I think this will last forever. It seems just months ago, but actually it's from centuries ago that they keep cutting down the trees, making paper. They glorifying like this paper, like when Trump have a photo ops on document that he has when he to the trustee of all his company. It's it's mounting of paper. So these people love paper, so that it's too much. Make us wonder when they store it. They store it in a secure place and climate control stuff like that. So in conclusion, our all big government agencies have no understanding of the digital and cloud technology and the benefit of the environment, cost paper trails, and security, document security, or data security. So is it time for digital kids to come in and do the cleanup, the paper trails? As we are all aware, every time the kid is on the phone with all kind of apps without wanting to search the paper. So they basically hate paper. They just want to see the phone, everything in digital. Those kids, that's what they do, 24 hours a day. How contrast this two generation? It's so contrast. Do the kids have secret and password? Absolutely. Do they know how to break in a secret or password or how to hack? Yes, they do. Just like all secret agents that deal with the secret. So isn't it obvious that the kids can do better than the old timers? Does that mean the kid understanding secret at the same level or better than Trump or the secret agent or the secret service or even some top secret agent? Yes, they have the same understanding of a secret, the kid. So they can do cleanup of all this mess. If the old people just keep bragging about it, if the old people keep fighting about it, the old people, old timers keep arguing about it on national television or YouTube. So that's what they needs to have, a kids to come in and do the cleanup. What a mess. Classified information materials are not really secret actually. Many things on the top secret document, from invention, from a secret chemical, bio weapon, and stuff like that, or other things. So, in that a secret document, it could contain all the spy agent outside of the country that spying on some leaders and all the name that involve that do the infiltration spy agent. Their life can be in danger if it's revealed. So that's how the secret classified document must be protected, because they don't want to sacrifice their people that doing the spying. So as the making of a deadly weapon or the new invention or a secret to hack some foreign government firewall. So they might have a code how to break into a government firewall. So it could be unethical secret, like information of the secret lover of an enemy as a leverage or a blackmailing. So it could be like a tip when they make love in hotels from a neighboring country leader. So they keep this to blackmail that leader. If you don't sign this agreement, then I will leak this and your career will be destroyed. So it could be, in that case, the secret classified materials. In this digital information, in this era of digital information, any image of a CCTV can be captured or posted online or being hacked. And basically, these are all searchable at Google or Yahoo or any search engine or Bing, and making an intelligent report as easy as we can connect the dots or synthesize some information to construct a theory. Similar to a conspiracy theory, but made by the FBI or CIA to conclude that this leader might do this if we do this. So they learn the data, but we could also search it at the search engine, any search engine, Mozilla, Google, whatever, Bing. So we just need to connect the dot and read the pattern and make a conclusion that this leader is going to attack. So that's how the intelligence data is gathered, and then the FBI or CIA market sensitive classified material, which actually it's nothing. It's just a bunch of stupid theory. It might true, may not true, because it's probability. They did not run the statistic of probability 90% this will attack that country. Sometimes they're right, like how they predict the Ukraine war. So while the information of the yesterday tend to be obsolete quickly as any newer digital information are more fresh, since it fresh and refresh and keep refreshing, so it's keep verifying each other or verifiable or validating its patterns that we predict. Like the Ukraine war will happen in 3 days, and it happened. So it's validate and it's verified. So the newer will better. So the yesterday secret are no longer matters actually. So it give us a hesitation about top secret actually. So this is more the fresh one, the newer one is more revealing. So if we live in the moment, then we will know that top secret are no longer top secret and kind of stupid conspiracy theory that never happened. Or if it's happened, then it's already happened. So why make a big fuss out of it? And then it also the downfall of the leaking is that there's a secret agent that work inside the border that watching all those soldiers movement at the border of Ukraine, and they belong to the Russian people or Belarusian people that telling the West what it is, and if it names revealed, then it's in danger. It could be like that, but that comes with the high paycheck. As a spy, they have unlimited budget. So it's like a soldiers. They risk to get killed if they want to be the one. And it's so funny if it were called a top secret that public has known about it. So free digital information at any search engine will reveal any information either in general or deemed to be classified. So do we still want to label free digital information era for a free democracy? And there is no such a thing as classified as soon as it leaked in the digital press and becoming newsworthy. Open government and open society does not require any secret input win. A World Wide Web are started in a free content of information spirit and a free stream of updated data. Even an end product in the form of statistic and furthermore as a final product with analysis and prediction for a decision maker. So this is essentially owned single-handedly and selfishly by the most companies that require all employees who's involved to sign an NDA. The government official also require those government employees to sign NDA so they can keep the secret for their own, while the public can always use the search engine or hack to reveal the true information. Mainly for the government, they call this final product of data and information as a top secret or classified and sensitive materials. Somehow, the government are mostly run by elderly gentlemen or elderly gentleladies who believe in paper documentation, and they keep storing this paper in an archive site or building or metal cellars or the skiff they call it. Everything is stored in a physical paper that require a very expensive and costly custodian level. There's gonna be door number one for just low level of classified material, and then door number two, door number three, and then the top secret will be at the very end with all kind of password and special key to open it, and so many card that safeguarding or as custodian of this classified material. It's so costly instead of digital. So imagine if the cost comparison between physical custodian of a classified paper documentation versus cloud storing of document, which cost could be close to nothing. So imagine that one. Costs nothing compared to way so costly or waste of government funding or people taxpayers. The US government that run and led by some old people do not believe in internet data storing security in a cloud, although the US military or government is the one who invented the internet and GPS. In this case, we and the world need to appreciate the US military or government that invent this internet and GPS. So let's not bite the hand that feed us. Just like the election integrity that believe in paper instead of digital due to its prone to hacking, that's what they believe in, because they don't believe in multiple security validation of entering. So entering data, I mean. So safeguarding the vote from hacking by printing the vote, that sounds ridiculous. Sounds like solving a problem with another problem. Why not setting a hacking-proof digital voting? It's another comedy or funny thing. There is none of the tech kids speak out about digital proof solution instead of paper ballot that is still proof to that is still prone to a physical thief. WikiLeaks, journalistic and showmanship. The World Wide Web spirit as an open data society has a single utopia, and everything is free and widely open for data sharing and data processing to predict and conclude or even to execute together in a community of techies or technology whiz. So we all can leap into the next world of a smart human and environment. So there is more ethical world of community upholding instead of wasteful and ecologically destructive. Every player reminded to not tremble the latest version of a general common humanity. Now the trend is we are afraid of this wokeness and always fight for conservatism of old slavery or some sort level of humanity. This fight and struggle against big falls and error in government was drummed by WikiLeaks. But we are all aware the open and free streaming data information and video has been the spirit of World Wide Web. Since somehow the company and government limit the open society, this WikiLeaks started to break the wall of limiting information and reinstate the open and free flow of stream of information, especially top secret material. Is this in violation of the high standard liberal ethical humanity? It is absolutely not. Instead, these are the form of struggle. So it's a struggle and rebellion toward establishment or all subjective humanity. However, undesirably, we are all aware any organization has preference and favor of taking side due to support or donation or alliance or subject to a blackmail from a party or an agent. So they cannot be neutral after they realize that taking side and profiting from taking side or being paid as a service and get a lot of money is tempted for WikiLeaks. So WikiLeaks took the wrong turn in presenting a raw material data and decided to twist the data. So finally they twist the data or alternate it to benefit a party or a country with a lot of misinformation. It becomes so biased now, WikiLeaks. It was meant to be good, but at the end, it's so biased just to create the chaos. While at the moment, WikiLeaks was believed to be the sole super fact information by its reader. So the reader used to think that WikiLeaks are just a leak of data without altered, without twisted, without trying to be biased and bombarded one side of data without presenting the counter data. So, and the result of misinformation by the WikiLeaks are a skewed or biased view of US election, followed by forming and developing a misinformation cult. So there you go. It tried to tip the voting toward the Republican by flooding the WikiLeaks with a lot of misinformation from Russia or FSB or the Fancy Bear. So technology company was a major player in a free stream of open information in their website search engine. In the process, in obsessing with bigger profit, all tech companies are hiding secret of their operation, invention, their government corrupt personnel on their payroll, bribe, tax data. So they corrupt tax data, they hide tax data. Or they have a secret project that they not revealing. They keep it secret. So it was realized that the search engine only revealing what is others doing, but not what the search engine company managed by itself. So they're not self-revealed. They only self-reveal when it comes to things that might tip for more revenue or profit. So that is the constellation of all kind of information and data that we have, all the way until we touch to the elderly who tightly conserve the data in a physical paper and even fight to the tooth over the paper trails of yesterday. So they're living in a yesterday song. But that is the kind of world we are living right now. We know what is right and what is ethical. And so we know even people can rip over ethical and humanity by misinformation to build a cult or purely misinformed cult at will. Why I use the word at will? It's to reflect when they dare to try and taste the lies, get a hype and heavily addicted, and suddenly believe in the lies at will. So they keep questioning and all the mainstream, but they never questioning their own. So only looking outward, never look inward, like JFK theory that's still alive. That's a theory that they have, but they're never question about it. But when it comes to the election, they're questioning it. When it comes to ridiculousness like voting error, they question about it. But when it comes to ridiculous JFK theory, they never questioning it. So they're only looking outward. They don't looking inward, and it's at will because they realize it. They fully conscious, not subconscious, not crazy. They fully realize it. When they stormed the Capitol, they they realized it was them, but they block it and looking outward and saying that's the Antifa. So the Antifa is the one that did it, although they themselves doing it. So this is like at will. They know it, they realize it, they're doing it anyway. Some minority numbers has come out and blame others for believing in every little thing lies. As usual, we would be held responsible for what we do. Nobody is responsible for what we do. That's what they believe, like Trump. They don't believe that they have to be responsible because they're looking outward to blame. They're never looking inward. Even the new apprentice named Jorge Santos from Brazil, or in the US, he called himself George Santos, who lives in an island of deception, and deception is his inhale and exhales in daily breathing, and lies, just like more revealing, truth leaking, that he stole everything. Like, since he was kids, he likes to steal stuff. Like the one, like his phone that he used right now was stolen. He stole checkbook, I think 75,000 from his friend. And my leak is Ali Fallacy from the MSNBC. He got some source somewhere. So I quoted from him that Jorge Santos or George Santos lies and stole and grift as long as he lived. Just like Donald Trump, the master of all it. So these cult leaders, just like Trump, are mastering these skills since they were toddler and forever lies. Beside another skill trait of deceptions, or that everything was not his fault and look others to blame. Outside, not inward but outward looking to blame for lies that basically it keep on going every day and every day, even until now when people that have an opening eye, but they keep on doing it anyway, and we can reveal more and more and more and every day, and they just don't care, and just show must go on, lies must goes on. And beware if any cult leader. So beware for any cult leader. The cult leader, they are basically only good or professional in lying and misinform their loyal followers. Is this a show of love to their followers? No, they're not. They're just lying to their followers. And the followers love to be lied at, love to be victimized or to be blamed because they also blame their followers. So this is the abuser and abused um, relationship, or right now it's getting more this kind of abuse and abuser relationship. We call this as the Stockholm syndrome, similar to the relationship between Putin and Navalny, the opposition leader of Russian, who subconsciously start embracing Putin jail tortures and poisoning him. And he romancing this and over a tender heart by coming back to face more tortures. That's ridiculous. So Navalny was poisoned with a nuclear poison, and then he was flown to Berlin for detoxification, and he was back to normal again, not half dead. I saw the picture of Navalny was screaming in the plane, screaming for help for his pain, because the toxic is excruciating. The poison is excruciating. So anyway, he was detoxicated or depoisonated, and then he come back to Russia and wanting to face Putin again. It seems like a Stockholm syndrome. It's so funny. I mean, normal people will not do that. Or I wonder, after facing so much propaganda in Russia, the Russian people start developing this Stockholm syndrome. I bet it's like maybe a third of Russia like that. Like in the US, third of the American are Trump diehard, and the other third are independent, and the rest third are Democratic. So relying one third to win an election is logically impossible. So you need to get close to the independent or moderate, which is another third. And the other third is impossible to want you back. So if we heard the president should be an agent of union, it's impossible because a president was elected by one third and agreed by another third. The other third is just anti no matter what. So if you try to reach out to embrace the other third and wishing the third of the US population will love him, it sounds ridiculous, irrational. So they have to live in a real world. They have to be down to earth and just rely on one third of their diehard, like right now, Joe Biden, diehard Democrat, and another third independent. So he has to be sounds like independent. He cannot be sound so Democrat because otherwise he will not win. So that's why the red wave was failed, because they're not trying to get independent, but instead they're making the independent as the enemy by curtailing their voting right, by making the woman body is a senator's or Supreme Court problem, not the women's problem. This sounds so ridiculous. That's why they didn't win. So there you go. So is this so this is Navalny, go back to Navalny again, the Russian opposition that love to be in a Stockholm syndrome, is using his rational or logical thinking? I don't think so. Is this ever work, or has there ever a result by doing it such? Or what is the result of this torture? Will it make Russian mad, or Russian society or Soviet society rile up and fighting for this injustice? No, they're not. So basically, they just left Navalny out dry with his Stockholm syndrome without any help, because his strategy will not work. What kind of people that want to use a Stockholm syndrome as a strategy in life? So I don't think he should continue doing that, because now he's nearly dead again. Because as we all know, Putin will keep torturing him. That's for sure. So impossible if Putin wanna release him and make him able to speak against him. It's just so impossible. Or showing the torture as a inhuman and making general Russian people, 66% of Russian mad. It's just impossible. So he's just expecting more tortures and more poison and more hardship and more pain. And I think somebody needs to advise him to stop doing that, or some therapists or psychology people to come in and remind him this strategy will never work. So basically, misinformed of any kind is not limiting on others. As they are malicious and ready to use their peer, their friend, their follower as a target of misinformation, it's also not limited target of blaming, or not limiting target for abuse, like the Stockholm syndrome. So there is no mercy or ethical in such misinformation, as the main goal is to create further chaos or hatred. So in any way they can, they will create chaos and hatred, because with the anger and fear mongering, they will usually think they will survive. But I doubt it. Who wants to have a chaos? Who wants to have a civil war in their country? I mean, normal country. I'm not talking about crazy country. So that's why I have to educate people with moderation and rational. As a civilian people, we have to think rational and think like normal people, not too much in politics and not too much in bias and not too much in conspiracy theory and not too much in secrecy. Because liberal thinking that liberate your thinking, not afraid of propaganda, not afraid of a secret, not afraid of having a secret. It's more open. It's open society. It's more democratic. It's better selections of life, I guess. So the effect can go as far as a public misjudgment. Misinformation can go as far as public misjudgment until the mob getting wild and create a riot that is lethal, like the January 6th case, or the case of Paul Pelosi, the Nancy Pelosi husband, is the result of this misinformation, which full of hate and just want to be wild and want to be violence. So being in the cult does not seal their safety. Yeah, like if they want to associate with the cult, like member of QAnon, they think they be like immune or not prone to an attack. They still, because if some lies created for them by their peers, they're gonna get attacked. They're gonna get bullied. They're gonna get hit. So it is normal and recurrence and sacrificing their own for the glory of misinformation. The obvious proof is in Russia with constant lies and propaganda. The Orwell kills its own fellow citizen. So it's not killing the US. It's not killing the NATO, but it kills more Russian. It's like the ISIS that only kills mostly their fellow religious. So they don't kill their target, like let's say ISIS hate what? NATO or hates Western government, but they target the people, the innocent people that doesn't know anything, and also their own people who are fellow religions. So not to mention one of the QAnon leader that was framed with lies. Now she's like being hated. She used to be the gatekeepers of QAnon, but she's gone now. There you go. So top secret document is obsolete, and we know using top secret could be for like misinformation, because it can be revealed, it can create a chaos, and it can form a cult, and it can push to January 6th, a violent mob, or in Brazil, like I've been predicting since a month ago. I was predicting Brazil will have January 6th, because this cult, it's like a pop culture. They even almost came to Germany, but it did happen in Belarus. That was led by Lukashenko. He was lost in an election like a Donald Trump, but he maintained power using this cult models. All right, that's discussion of the week, and I might upload more discussion to later on. Have fun and Be good. Bye.